Welcome. Today we're looking at how my company acquires celebrity clientele for our done for you service. Now my company Phantom Brands has a couple of different agency offers, but in this video, to keep it short and concise, we're just going to be talking about acquiring public figure clientele. I'm going to walk you through my funnel, my outreach process, the different ways in which we can acquire this clientele, and how we're going to scale it into 2025. So let's dive in. Oh yeah, and the company's Phantom Brands. My name is Jared. I am the owner. So what my company does, we have two core offers. We do everything in the e-com clothing biz world because that is what I started in. I started out with my own brand, scaled it up internationally. It was super fun. Now I own Phantom. So we grow and scale e-com brands for public figures and also existing brands. So for public figures, we do an A to Z brand build. They want their own brand. They want their own asset. They see the importance of investing in a business. We're the back end. We do everything for them from initial designs all the way to operating and managing. For existing brands, we do marketing services, branding, consulting, different things to help them grow as a partner. So, like I said, in this video, we're going to be focusing on the done for you brand build because that is what pertains to public figures. And these are the main types of public figures that we help. Athletes, current and retired. Retired, it's a great market for us. Personal brands, content creators, people with big followings, musicians, entertainers, and then also companies that have a fan base or an audience that want merchandise. Because the key here is the done for you brand works because they have an existing audience. They can save so many dollars on marketing, and this is always in our pitch. And they typically have the resources, right? They're a well-off clientele. So it works for us. So let's talk about the different ways that we acquire clients. Let's start with the way that doesn't work. Typically ads for something so niche is not going to work, right? This type of clientele is less than 0.001% of the population. So you really have to do what we call sniping, very personalized outreach via email, via DM. Any way we can really get a hold of this person, we're going to pursue. We also love affiliates. Affiliates for this type of clientele works really, really well because they rely so heavily on trust. You have to imagine, you have to put yourself in their shoes, right? They have a lot of people contacting them about a lot of things all the time, and they want to work with people that they trust. So if we can get a foot in the door with somebody they trust, like a manager, and I'll go into this, a manager, a marketer, an agent, whatever, they will hear us out. And that will start the conversation. And then, of course, word of mouth and referrals. Again, that trust factor is very important. So when we talk about personalized outreach, this is basically our sequence that we run when we are doing outreach directly to the individual, not their team yet. This is just the individual. So we make the first contact. And what's worked really well for us is we have built, like I said, our own brand, our own clothing brand. So we have that credibility and we do outreach from that brand. That's like basically our case study. One, our portfolio to build a lot of trust. And also on the brand's page, which holds a lot of weight, is a lot of public figures. Athletes, musicians, etc. So they see people they're either like direct friends with, or they've seen before on TV or they've heard of. Gives us a lot of credibility when we're doing outreach. So we will shoot DMs to them. A lot of people actually check their DMs more than you can imagine, especially when you're going from a brand. So we have that initial message. We also have follow-up sequences, of course, like personalized videos that I will send to hot leads, etc. And we also, what we do is on the initial message, we're directing them to a private VSL. If you don't know what that is, that's called a video sales letter. And this VSL talks about who we are, what we do, what we provide to them, what it looks like, selling the dream, all that sort of good stuff. Below the VSL as well is case studies, testimonials, right? Just boosting up credibility. And we then have a conversation from that initial contact, okay? And that's going to be an introductory call. Now, that's either with them if they responded directly, or sometimes they will respond and say, hit up my manager. This is their number. So that initial call, that intro call, is with either them or their team or both. And this is just a 15 to 30-minute conversation. Again, you got to build a lot of trust with this clientele. So, especially because they're enterprise sales. Like our price points for this service have to be very high because it's a very intense service. So with all of that, it's an introductory call to go over what we do, what they want, is this a good fit, timeline, right? All of those important things. And then after that initial call, if it went well and they'd like to speak again, then we have a sequence up to the next demo. And that sequence is case studies, testimonials, building trust, etc. What we will do as well on the demo call is longer, it's about an hour, is we will give a ton of free value up front on this demo call. So typically, with outreach sequences and outbound, you want to be giving value in general, right? Whether you're a B2B, B2C, whatever the offer is, You want to be giving like case studies and lead magnets and assets and all this sort of stuff along the process. What we do on this demo call is we will provide like a glimpse of working with us. So, say they want a clothing brand and it's streetwear. Based on the information we gather on that initial call, we will have a general idea of their fashion, of their taste, of their interest, general idea. So, we will present slight mock ups that we do all online, right? Nothing, no physical products, but like slight mock ups online and present to start painting the picture, start painting the dream, start to show them how amazing this could look like, which it is amazing. I'm not just saying that. On that demo call. The demo call is also very in depth on our process, on our pricing, on our tiers, on back end operations, on all that sort of stuff. From this call, wires don't happen on this call because legal always has to get involved. And so after the call, we have follow-up sequences, contract negotiations, terms, all that sort of stuff, staying in contact, initial conversations, etc. And then we close the deal and move forward. So let's talk about affiliates. Affiliates, again, are very important in this public figure realm because they need a lot of trust. So our favorite affiliates are managers, sometimes agents, PR marketing, stylists, wealth advisors, etc. Sometimes family, even if they're managing the player or the clientele's business. So what we do, it's very similar to acquiring client. Personal outreach, email, DM, set up an intro call, acquire. Now, it's obviously easier to acquire affiliates that have already gone through the system, right? But sometimes they start with one client and then they continue to grow. Also, it's really important that maybe you can apply. We have a very clean and pretty outrageous and generous offer for affiliates because we understand how much they trust. They are trusted by our clientele. So we create an entire offer for them. We send them the offer. We acquire them just like a client. Referrals, also a great lever. And the way to use referrals, because again, this clientele is kind of tricky, right? Like they're not just like going to be like, yeah, I'll call everyone in my phone book for you. So what we do is we have a structured program that gives great levels of value to our clients to refer. And it comes in a couple different ways, right? It could be around their collection, around more designs, around more services we can provide them on the back end to boost up their brand that we are building them. And of course, testimonials and case studies, I mean, this is applicable to any offer, right? But it's super important with this level of clientele because if they can see testimonials from teammates or friends or people they've seen perform, etc., it holds 1,000 times more weight than you saying, you know, we grew this brand XYZ, and they're like, I don't even know who that is, right? So this is also very important. The Epiphany Bridge in your structure of your testimonials, make sure, this is what we do. We have a very clear SOP structure around the testimonials that we like to get, and we want them to hit certain pain points because that is what our prospects are going to be reading and say, oh, this is relatable to me. You don't want a testimonial that doesn't, you know, hit the head on the nail. Goals in the future. I'll make another video for how we're getting brand clients, but acquire more clients for the brand, of course. We don't take on many at one time, though, right? This is a very strategic and niche operation. We're not onboarding 10 people a day. We can't even handle that. We don't want to handle that. It's a lot of work. We only want to work with people that are really aligned with what we're doing. Leverage those case studies into higher contracts. So this is a price point game for us. This is not a volume game, obviously, right? So we would much rather take on one client, raise prices, than acquire 2 clients for the same amount. Build a reputation as the go-to in the market, because again, this brand build is not being done at this level by anybody. Use that reputation as a case study to also acquire brand accounts. So I mix and match what we've done in our company to acquire businesses as well. I've had a lot of brands come on board and say one of the main reasons they trusted us is because they've seen that we built brands for people they're fans of. Holds a lot of weight. And of course, use the success of this company into my personal brand to build my coaching business and my info business. It's all intertwined. The better the brand does, the more value I provide, the better we do for our clients, the more it just goes like this into every single aspect of what I'm doing in my business. So this is a high-level overview, the bare bones of how we are acquiring celebrity clients and how we already have into our Phantom Brands Done For You business. I'm going to link below a free resource that I use in my business to identify, pain points and things that I can work through and improve as a company. And of course, just to reiterate, I'm going to go back 1 second. Each of these steps, right, like the personalized outreach, the affiliate outreach, the referrals, every single step has its own systems, its own metrics we need to track, its own data that we go in and we fix and we iterate, right? So if there's a breakdown at one point in the system, we need to do a good job of diagnosing that problem and fixing it immediately. but I'm sure you already know that. But if you didn't, every piece has its own piece of the puzzle. So I hope you found value from this video. And again, I'm gonna put my information below for anything else you guys have in terms of questions. Also, hit me in the comments if you want to know anything more. I'll see you next video.